But let's address the elephant in the room first of all. The Residents video is not going out 2 weeks after Dogma, because this is coming in its place. That sounds wrong. Also, new glasses, which is going to be confusing in the next 2 weeks because they were recorded before. It's all kind of wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey, you might say, which is very appropriate, considering today we're talking about Season 2 or Series 15, whatever you want to call it, of the revival Doctor Who. I'm going to take a good, bad, ugly, although not a fond of that last word, I'll figure it out towards the end, approach to how I'm going to talk about this. So the good, first of all, and I'm not going to talk about Joy to the World. It was fine, it gave us Anita, etc. I don't really need to spend too much time on it here. But the good. So, Ncuti Gatwa, last season, understandably, quite rightly, not slated, I think that's a bit harsh, but criticised for being basically the crying Doctor. I have no issue with an emotive Doctor. 10 was also quite emotional. But it was a range. It wasn't just cry, cry, happy, cry, cry, happy, which is how it felt last time. Around halfway through this season, we finally got more of a rounded Doctor. We had Fury in the Interstellar Song Contest at the Hellions, particularly Kid. We had, all of this change. We had some Doctor speeches, kind of. And it was wonderful to see that change. Speaking of change, we have a new companion. Again, I'm not going to slate Millie Gibson, I'm not going to slate Ruby as a character necessarily, but she did feel very much like just going along with it. There was this friendship that they had that we never really saw develop. It felt very rushed, which is what happens in an 8-episode run. But this time, Belinda didn't come out, some ingenue, like, take me on adventures in your magical box. It was, no, I want to go home. I want to be back. I've got to be back for 24th of May. And that'll come back later in the video, I promise. But it was nice to see that change. Now, that did shift again over the season, and that's a problem. But again, this isn't the space for that. The episodes this time around, we have some amazing entries. We have the continuation of the Pantheon story in Lux, and Alan Cumming doing some great voice work. The Well, I have issues with, but the fact that, it was highlighting disability with the sign language situation, brilliant. Lucky Day, which kind of reclaimed Ruby to a degree. Story in the Engine. A black story for a black Doctor. This is ideal, because in the past, particularly before the revival, there's been some problematic approaches to other cultures' history and mythology. So this time, it's Black Doctor, it's a black story, written by a black man. In fact, he did a stage play about a barbershop, because it's that inherent and that intrinsic to this kind of culture. So Inoa Allams was amazing for that. We have the Interstellar Song Contest, which I'm not a fan of Eurovision. I don't really care about Rylan, but it was such a fun episode and gave us that dark moment. And Juno Dawson being a trans writer, we've got that queerness in. It's Pride Month after all. And there are good bits with the 2-part ending, I will say that. I think that was less good than some of the earlier episodes. But yeah, it was a decent run. We also have a beautiful return of 13, showing that, written well, properly handled, she is actually a good character. And it did make me a bit sad. I wanted to see more, but it was nice to see her come back. This whole trend that started of the outgoing Doctor being reassured by a past iteration in some form, I do like that. And yeah, it is a shame that we're not going to get more. But that does lead me into the less good. So there is a kind of, I guess, bridging point, because I loved Anita Dobson finally getting the reveal of who Mr. Flood is, and Archie Punjabi as the Rani. Not a Rani, the Rani. But how that was all handled in the reality war, we have this threat of, a lot of people have complained about people saying this wrong online. I'm just going to say it one way and I'm going to keep consistent with it. If you don't like it, tough. But with Omega and how that was handled, we had the big CGI dog for Sutekh. Fine, it's a god, whatever. But this whole idea that the Underverse is kind of, with this idea of mythology and stories actually having weight now, this whole idea that he's become this giant CGI skull face thing, that's a disservice to the character, that's a disservice to this show, and it's a disservice to Archie Punjabi's version of the Rani. being unceremoniously killed off like that. Yes, it means we have a surviving Rani, which is good. If we see more of her in the future with Anita Dobson, that's fine. I'm happy with that. But why did the bi-generation happen then? Just to give us some little interplay and a little two Ronnies joke for us Brits in the audience? I did not appreciate that at all. And whilst I praised The Well earlier, we didn't need a sequel to Midnight. I know Ncuti said that one of the things he really wanted to do was a sequel to The Satan Pit. He wanted to face the beast, as well as doing an African story, so he got that. But the Midnight Entity, yes, we didn't see it in full, unless you watched The Unleashed. But it's still... I can't like it as much as I want to. The Robot Revolution, as much as yes, it gave us that very firm introduction to Belinda, and obviously she softened over time, that's another down. By the end of it, she was like, let's go on adventures. Oh yeah, I need to get back. But yeah, the Robot Revolution, the whole incel, hammer you over the face with it, the message, no, I'm done with that. Please stop. We don't need the message bashed into us violently like that. So, again, I'm not going to... It's not the ugly, just the rest. That's what it is. I am sad. I really feel that Ncuti was coming into his own as the 15th Doctor, but I can't hold it against him. I can't be angry at him. An analogy I thought of is you're in a job and you've got this carrot dangling. We're going to give you promotion. We just need to sort some paperwork out, need to figure out how we're going to do it. And you're holding on. Then all of a sudden there's a job offer come in, like higher pay than you're on now, good job security, you can do something really fun. It's in a similar field but a different way, so you can really sort of stretch your abilities and things like that. At the end of the day, unless you've got some definite commitment of when this promotion is going to happen, you're going to jump for the new job. And that's what Ncuti's done here. He's in demand. The fact that they had to have some Dr. Light episodes last time because he was still doing sex education, which obviously brought him into, the wide world. He's got theatre jobs. I know he's done The Importance of Being Earnest. He's been in Barbie, I believe. Things like that. This is a young actor who is definitely on the rise and is in demand. And like I say, I can't begrudge him leaving. It is the best decision for him. Remember, we are the fans. Yes, we keep it going. But the actors, the writers even, are not beholden to us. They can make mistakes and we can call them out for it. But at the end of the day, there's still people doing work, and I don't have any ill will. And I don't want to hear any ill will towards Ncuti for making this decision. But yeah, by and large, it was kind of... It was very much a bell curve. It started out, I guess, it's a little better. It rose. Middle point, like Story in the Engine, Lucky Day. This is getting good. And then it really sort of dropped at the end. It was... disappointing is the word that I keep coming back to. And the whole Poppy thing, that Poppy's super important, again, that was definitely added on. The importance of Poppy was a way to go, right, no more wishes, but if he puts all his regeneration energy into the time vortex, then that gives him the out. It also means Poppy comes in. And this, one of the things I'm not a massive fan of is like the flashbacks where it's kind of like, haha, here was the information. Like a lot of times I'm like, yes, I knew that, I'd figured it out. I do get, not everyone figures out all the twists and stuff like that in films. So I get that it's there for them, but for me, I'm just like, yes, I know this, get on with it. Or sometimes, it is a case of, oh, I didn't spot that one. But it's things that were there. The whole thing with, like, oh no, I've got to get back for Poppy. These moments were spliced in as though they were part of the episodes they came from. But they weren't. This was an add-on. All of this was done at the end. And not only did it create this weird, messy ending to this season, to this two-part finale, to Ncuti's run, it made Belinda less good. Well, it's... I don't know, it's just this thing of like, oh, she wants to get back because, she's got a job, she's an important person, she's a nurse, she does all this stuff, she's got a life to come back to. But it's just, no, I've got to get back for a child. This woman who didn't want to be held down by anything, all of a sudden, no, I've got a child. Like, she has an issue with him scanning her in the first episode. Did you scan me without my permission? And then it's like, oh, but you've technically given me a child without my permission? I mean, don't take that out of context. But yeah, it's wrong, it's messy. And I guess this is technically bad, but I just wanted to really give it its own space because I'm just that annoyed. It's like the good, the bad, the absolutely awful. That's what it is now. I really think that even if we have to wait a few years, I really hope they pull something out and change direction. I don't think Billy is going to be 16. That's the one I'm going to end on. Let's talk about the Billy of it all, because we can't end the video talking about this season without that. What kind of content creator would I be if I didn't talk about that? I'm fine with her coming back. It is stunt casting kind of thing. You know, it is a ploy. It is a massive publicity thing. Get the interest so that whenever they come back, people want to find out. But I don't know what they're going to do and if it's going to be worthwhile. I genuinely think it's something to do with the time vortex being accessed, the version of Rose that was put into it, like the Bad Wolf thing. That's going to be a part of it. That's what I would say. That's my gut instinct, based on all the information available. And I'm fine with the story around that, but it doesn't need to be this big event. So overall, I'm sad that Ncuti's gone. I wish we'd have got more. He was coming into his own, and they really messed up the landing. But I'd love to know what you guys think. I know the consensus, by and large, on the internet is it was messy. But I would like to know, do you think I'm wrong? Do you agree with my points? Just please leave some comments down below. This isn't just an engagement farming thing. I am genuinely curious. But that's it. So next week will be a video that's been about 2 or 3 weeks delayed. Then The Residents. Then I think I've got a week's break. And then a 3-week project. And I've still got to do some stuff for my uni stuff for next year. Yay. But I hope you'll join me for all that's coming. And until next time, as always, thank you for watching. Take care. And... oh, hello!